the bordbia quality mark, ensuring your food is produced to the highest standards of traceability and care for the environment.
Today my food trails take me to Wicklow to meet Pamela Walsh and Stephenson, who make wine with Irish fruit. I travel to Kilkenny to go mushroom foraging with Bill O'D, and from there I go to County Longford to meet Gary O'Halloran, head chef of Viewmount House. But first I'm going to cook a vegetable curry with fragrant rice on board the Shannon Princess. This is a vegetarian curry that meat eaters will enjoy, and it's absolutely delicious. So we're putting some aubergine into it, some potatoes, some cauliflower, some lentils, so there's lots of flavour and texture. The first thing we need to do is to start off with a base for the curry, and that's kind of toasting or roasting off our spices. I'm going to put a little bit of oil into the pan. I'm going to use some rapeseed oil, and I'm going to talk you through the spices. So the first thing we're going to put in is some cumin seed and some yellow mustard seed. So I have the pan preheated so it should be nice and warm. Sprinkle that all over the base. And into that we're putting some cinnamon stick and some whole cloves. So it's going to be nice and aromatic. We're going to let this cook, just give it a gentle little stir. So you're kind of toasting them, you're drawing out the flavour. They'll pop a little bit, don't worry about that. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put in my onion, my garlic and my ginger. So this is the basis for most curries. So I'll just place the lid on this for a moment. It's like popcorn the way it pops, isn't it? So 2 cloves of garlic, 1 small onion, which is just simply finely diced, or you can shred it, or you can, what you can do if you're under a little bit of pressure, you can put all of this into a food processor and you can blend it. Because you're going to cook this for about 25 minutes. Okay, let's pop this in. So I have the hob on a low heat. Now I am going to put in my ginger. I'm going to put a little bit more oil. Oh, I can smell that. That lovely cumin, the cinnamon, cloves, love all those flavours. Now you can use the black mustard seed, but I've used the yellow one. And actually mustard seed is really nice in bread. If you make up a nice kind of like a yeast bread, sprinkle a little bit of that with some curry powder, it's really, really nice. Ginger, so just using the microplane, peel it. And if you're going to use it with the skin on, it's a little bit stronger. So this is the base now. We're not looking for colour, we're just looking to combine all the flavours. So let's just stir all the spices through. Now I'm going to let that just cook for a few minutes. I've turned up the heat just to warm it up. We're going to simply prepare our aubergine, which we're going to dice. And aubergine can be a very insipid, bland vegetable. When my mother used to cook in the restaurant, she used to put it into a little bit of curried batter, so like a regular batter for your fish and chips. We used to do it in a tomato sauce. Now you need to get flavour in it. So I'm going to cut it into bite-sized pieces. Gone with the days you used to have to salt aubergine. I've never done that. Cut this into bite-sized pieces and just put this into the bowl here. Now I'm going to talk to you about the next layer of spices. Turmeric. This is a little bit of chili powder, so it's the mild chili powder. Don't want it too hot, you can use the hot one. You have a bit of ground coriander and some cumin and some sweet paprika. So I'm going to sprinkle this all in here. You just mix this all through. So you can just see that it's going to just coat the base of the pan. Turn it down. We're going to put in our tomatoes. It's going to be a little bit noisy now when I put this in here. Begin to sizzle and stir this through. Again, bringing the temperature up a little bit. Some stock. I'm just going to put half the stock in here now. And this is just some vegetable stock. Stir that through. Now, we're going to put in our lentils. These are some orange lentils. You can use some pui lentils, but these will be used a lot in Indian recipes. Just sprinkle this all in here so there's nice texture. Coconut cream. It's just sieved coconut milk. Spoon all this in here. So if you make rice pudding at home, try and finish it with some coconut cream, a little bit of vanilla and some lime zest. Delicious. We're going to add in the rest of the stock, bring it to the boil, and then we're going to add in our aubergine and our potatoes. Aubergine first of all, our potatoes. So we peel them, just cut them into nice big chunks into the pot, and then we stir this through. So this needs to come to the boil. Put the lid on it, then cook it for 20 minutes at a low simmer, and then I'm going to add in the cauliflower when it's ready. So after 20 minutes, this is what it looks like. It's been simmered away, so it's slightly thickened. Now, it's not a heavy curry, it's nice and aromatic and light. We're going to put in the cauliflower, and these are the little florets. You kind of cut them even size. Sprinkle them in, stir that all through, and then the lid needs to go on for a further 10 minutes. So this is what it looks like after 10 minutes. It actually takes on the colour from the turmeric and the tomatoes and all those lovely spices. We need to season it up, so some sea salt and some black pepper. And then we're going to put in some spinach. We're going to wilt some spinach. This is some baby spinach, and then just stir that through there. And then I'm going to finish this with some chopped coriander. So you rock the knife over and back. You could put mint into it, basil, but coriander, it's really good. And then just pop it in. And then just stir this through. And that's it. See the way the spinach is wilted, but it's kept its colour. So if you wanted to do this a day or two ahead, it would be perfect. It actually improves, to be honest with you. So we're just going to serve this up. So we just steamed a little bit of rice. We added in cardamom pod, and then a little bit of cinnamon stick, and then a bay leaf. And just cook that in a little bit of water or stock. Just kind of chop that. So you sweat off those aromatic vegetables, add in your rice, and then a little bit of water or stock. So I'm going to spoon this. We have the rice. You can put it into a fancy cutter, but I'm just going to arrange it just around the plate. So now I'm going to bring over my plate, and don't use the slotted spoon because you want to get all that lovely curry. Spoon it beside the rice. Look at the colour. And that is a very generous portion, I have to say. And I think even if you're a meat eater, you will enjoy this. That's my vegetarian aubergine and potato and cauliflower curry with the aromatic rice. I hope you try this at home. This is Powerscourt House in County Wicklow, where I've come to meet Pamela Walsh and Brett Stephenson, who make wine using Irish fruit. Making wine in Ireland is a very unusual thing to do, so I've asked them where the idea came from.
We came across the idea for wines that are made from fruits other than grapes when we lived in America. And we were in a party in San Francisco, and somebody arrived with a bottle of raspberry wine. And we thought, wow, that's really unusual, never heard of that. And we tried it, and it was absolutely delicious. That put the spark in our heads about creating wines from different fruits. And then we tried and we experimented. We're in that whole area, you know, there's Sonoma County and there's Napa Valley. So you've got a whole winemaking history, and lots of people know how to do it out there. So we learned, we came back to Ireland in 2000. And we thought, why don't we just try and see if we can make something out of the whole wine idea.
The name Monair, what does that mean?
Monair is the Irish word for meadows. Initially, we went out into the hills here in the Enniskerry area, and we picked the first blackberries and elderberries that went into the wines that we were making. Now we don't pick all the fruit, we still pick the elderberries, but we get our fruit from Pat Clark.
I know.
And he's fabulous.
He's one of the best.
Yeah, strawberries and blackberries, and Des Jeffers then does black currants. And the quality is absolutely fantastic.
So all Irish fruits you're
all
using?
Irish fruits. That's really important to us. It's part of the commitment we've made under Origin Green.
Yes.
Is to source our fruits from Ireland, and then hopefully as the business grows that we will continue to work with those growers to continue to source from Ireland.
So talk me through the process of making your wine.
Okay, it's just like a grape wine would be made. We bring in the fruit, macerate it for about 3 or 4 days till it breaks down, and then all of that fruit goes into a press and allow it to basically feed through the press. I don't press it straight away. Once most of the juices pass through, I start the pressing. The juice comes out, and as it comes out, I put it into stainless steel vessels in the room. Everything's in the vats then. We have the pulp left over, which Pamela takes and uses in our garden. We have soil made from it and everything, but yeast gets added. Fermentation starts. It takes about a week or so for the fermentation to complete. Once that happens, I move everything from this room into a larger vessel in the other room where it stays for about 10 months, 11 months. So it's about a year in totality. Once we're happy with the wine, after the year's up, we filter it. We do 5 stages of filtration, so you get a really nice clarity to the wine. The final stage is sterile filtering. And then it goes to a bottling line where we have a 4-way bottler, so you can put 4 bottles up into this machine, and it fills them up perfectly. So there's always someone washing, bottling, corking, and then getting onto a pallet. We might get 12 or 13 or 1400 bottles at a time, and then have a whole labeling day. It's corked, shrink capped, labeled, boxed up and ready for sale.
All done by hand.
Keep an eye on quality and make sure that we're very happy with it. Also, very important thing is there's a certain sulfite level that you're allowed to put in, and we do have some sulfites in the wine, but we measure it so that we have the minimum quantity rather than just tossing in up to the limit. We put in the minimum amount that'll keep the wine safe and therefore have the least impact on people and their health.
You're working on a new blackberry one, isn't it?
We are, yeah.
It's blackberry, blackcurrant, and elderberry.
Oh, that's
and the elderberry I sourced from here. I got 90 kilos last year.
Really?
Yeah.
All local.
Yeah,
So,
all local.
I'm really looking forward to tasting it.
And
Great.
we have some duck and cheese to go with it,
Really?
so you can,
That's good. I won't have to twist my arm. Brett, when you're doing tastings, are your customers intrigued with fruit-based wines?
Yeah, I mean, the strawberries and
Beautiful.
the blackberries, they're fruit, just like a grape. So, you know, there's really no reason for it whatsoever. It's just, I think their initial thought is that it's going to be so different, and it's not. It's a wine, just like any
Lovely
other
colour.
wine. It holds up. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's been filtered 5 different grades of filtration.
We have this on our tasting menu in our restaurant, and the reaction from the customers is a surprise. They love it. And we always play around. We get our sommelier Blahin who tastes the wine, what it will go well with desserts, and also with some meat-based dishes, which is really interesting. I think this will work really well with cheese.
It does, and we tried it with a number of the Irish cheeses. We did a tasting in Sheridan's, and we thought it was delicious with St. Ola goat's cheese, also with some of the stronger cheddars, smoked cheddars, the sheep's cheese, that kind of thing. The bries are a little bit not great, and the blues are too strong.
Okay.
But something in the middle is fantastic.
So
Yeah.
goat's
We're
cheese,
trying all
I
the
can see
time
that working.
to go with the Irish.
Gorgeous, and the clarity. The filtration you were saying is so important, isn't it?
Oftentimes, you know, people put it in the fridge, it just comes out cold, and as you drink it, it warms and it gets more aromatic, and the flavour gets more intense as you drink it.
That's a good tip, because I think we have a tendency to drink our wines too cold sometimes.
Yeah,
Am I right?
that's right. You'll find different qualities come through as the temperature changes in the wine. So
I love
even
that.
if you start too cool, you just let it warm up anyway.
This would make a great aperitif.
Oh,
you know, if you're having a
fantastic.
family get together,
Yeah.
maybe you think of prosecco or champagne.
That's it.
This would be perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to behave myself now. I'm going to throw myself. This is your new one, isn't it, that you're
This
working
is our
on?
new
Yeah.
one.
This is the blackberry that
Yeah.
we're just launching now.
Very excited to see this now. Look at the colour. It's like a nice Pinot Noir, am I right?
It is.
So tell me about this now.
So this is blackberry, and there's a little blackcurrant and wild elderberry in it. And some of the qualities are similar to what you find in the strawberry, in that you get the Irish root has a fair amount of acid in it, so the acidity is coming through, and also a lot of fruitiness coming through in
That
it.
would work well with venison, I think duck.
It's also possibly a little bit more versatile than the strawberry. It can maybe blend in a little bit more to what people are traditionally used to.
It's complex, but it's aromatic.
Yeah.
I think it's really good.
We tried it with duck. We have some duck here. When you have duck, you often have plum sauce. It's kind of like having plum sauce in liquid form. It's just fantastic. It's so fruity and...
But it's no way too sweet.
No,
No.
it's not.
It's a great food wine.
Yeah,
So
great.
it's been an amazing success and journey for the two, yeah? You must be
Yeah.
so proud.
We are. We're very
Yeah.
proud.
Now listen, it's lovely meeting you and hearing your story and getting the taste. We're very proud to have it on our menu, and I wish you both continued success, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you very
much.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
Lovely
you.
to meet you both.
Lovely to meet you as well.
I'm going to finish this now.
The bordbia quality mark, ensuring your food is produced to the highest standards.